High-stakes ceasefire talks continue in Cairo, a comedy of errors. In a scene reminiscent of a sitcom, the latest round of ceasefire talks between Israel and Hamas in Cairo has turned into a farcical display of diplomatic missteps and misunderstandings. Negotiators from both sides, along with mediators from Egypt and Qatar, have been seen engaging in what can only be described as a game of telephone, where messages get hilariously distorted by the time they reach the intended recipient. The talks began with a grand entrance by the negotiators, who arrived in Cairo with much fanfare. However, things quickly went awry when the Israeli delegation mistook the Egyptian hospitality for a covert operation. "We thought the baklava was bugged," admitted one Israeli official, who requested anonymity. Turns out, it was just delicious. The initial pleasantries were overshadowed by a series of awkward cultural faux pas. The Hamas delegation, unfamiliar with Egyptian customs, mistook the traditional welcome dance for a challenge and responded with an impromptu dabka performance. The Egyptians, caught off guard, politely clapped along, unsure whether to join in or call security. On the second day, a mix-up in the translation services led to a series of comical exchanges. When the Hamas representative asked for a ceasefire, the translator mistakenly conveyed it as a request for cheese fries. This led to a heated debate over the best type of cheese to use, with both sides eventually agreeing that cheddar was superior. The confusion didn't stop there. A request for peace talks was misheard as peas and socks, resulting in a bizarre discussion about the merits of legume-based footwear. "We were all very confused," said an Egyptian mediator. "But it was the most civil argument we've had so far." Despite the chaos, there was a moment of unity when both sides discovered a shared love for Egyptian falafel. "We may not agree on much, but we can all agree that falafel is amazing," said an Israeli negotiator. This culinary diplomacy led to a temporary truce, as both sides enjoyed a meal together, albeit with a side of suspicion. The falafel feast turned into an impromptu cooking competition, with each delegation trying to outdo the other. The Israeli team boasted about their secret spice blend, while the Hamas representatives claimed their grandmother's recipe was unbeatable. The Egyptian hosts, acting as judges, declared it a tie, much to everyone's relief. As the talks drew to a close, it became clear that while no formal agreement had been reached, significant progress had been made in understanding each other's culinary preferences. "We didn't solve the conflict, but we did agree to exchange recipes," said a Hamas representative with a chuckle. In a final twist, the delegations decided to hold a peace potluck before departing Cairo. Each side brought a dish representing their culture, leading to a surprisingly harmonious event. The Israeli delegation's hummus was a hit, while the Hamas team's baklava disappeared in minutes. The Egyptians, not to be outdone, provided a lavish spread that left everyone in a food coma. The potluck ended with a spontaneous dance-off, where negotiators from all sides joined in a mix of traditional and modern moves. The sight of diplomats attempting the Macarena together was a fitting end to the surreal week. In the end, the ceasefire talks in Cairo may not have achieved their intended goal, but they did provide a much-needed dose of humor in an otherwise tense situation. And who knows? Maybe the path to peace lies in a shared love of food. After all, as one mediator put it, if we can agree on falafel, anything is possible. As the delegations boarded their planes back home, there was a sense of camaraderie that hadn't existed before. They left Cairo with full stomachs, new recipes, and a glimmer of hope that perhaps, just perhaps, the next round of talks would be a little less about misunderstandings and a little more about mutual respect.